All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for joining our free online lesson. My name is Nabi Fikri, an application engineer from AutoCAD Systems. So for today's topic for this free lesson is the Autodesk AutoCAD Plant 3D, understanding custom spec. Right. So basically, this is the agenda for today. So we're going to take a look at the spec editor, what spec editor can do and what we can do with it. So we're going to take a look first on how to editing the spec from the Plant 3D. Then we're going to create a new spec as well. Then we're going to customize the branch table as well as create a new components into the catalog to be added into our spec. Right, so right now I'm opening the Plant 3D, and you see here that we have a spec that we can choose from. Right, so let me just check. Okay, right. So let's say I'm choosing the spec for CS300, and then from here I can right away click the pipings. It's on. And for this piping that I create over here, you can see that there are several sizes that we can choose from here. So different spec have different size. So this one have from 1/8 until 8, but for the CS300. So for the CS300, so we have 1/2 inch until 24 inch, something like that. Right, and not only that the spec contain the size for our pipes, it's also contain the components inside. So you can see at the tool palette here, for the CS300, we have line flange around 2, and then we have cap, so on. So if I change to different spec here, CS150, so I have different component over here. Now let's say I switch back to CS300. Now let's say I would like to add some more items over here, maybe more line flange or maybe more caps. So for that, you can edit it from the spec editor. So there are two ways that you can open up the spec editor. One of the way is that you can just directly open from the Plant 3D. From here, you can take a look at the project manager here. We have the pipe spec. Right, so you can scroll down. Let's say I would like to change the CS300. Let's delete this one first, which I will be added later on. So CS300. So this is the one that I would like to edit. Before I edit, I can also view what's inside the spec. So I can just double click, or I can just right click and open up. This will be the list of items that actually included inside our spec here. So we have this component for blind flange, bolts, and we can scroll down and see the pipe size. So we have pipe size for 1/2 inch until 24 inch. Let's say I would like to add more blind flange or more cap. So right away, so we just post this one first. Right away, I need to right click and I need to edit spec. Right, so best practice is you select different spec first so that it will be automatically updated. So let me just select different one, CS150. Then I would like to edit the CS300. So I can just right click and edit spec from here. And the spec editor is open up like this. Now what you see here at the top here is the spec and the component list inside of the spec here. So I can take a look at the top right corner. So the current spec that I'm choosing here is the CS300. So if I would like to open different spec, I can just open it from here. And here you can see the list of components inside the spec. And down here is the catalog. So catalog is something like a library which multiple components, multiple pipes, fittings, everything is actually listed down over here. And if you would like to add it into your spec editor, you can just select some of the components from here that you can just add to the spec. Right. So for example, I would like to add, say, okay, currently I'm opening the catalog for the valve. So I would like to open up for the pipe and fitting. So I can just change the catalog from here. Again, so you can open up new spec from here. For the catalog, you can also open other catalog from here as well. For this case, the pipe and fitting already open. So I'm just going to select this one. Let's say I would like to add more blind flange. So I'm going to select fitting, say flange. Right. And then from here, I can select and specify the size range. And this is the filter that you can choose to easily select your types. So I'm just going to drop down here. Let's say we have blind flange over here. So I add to blind flange. Say I'm going to add, so just a little bit different from here. So we have 9,000. So there's a, let's say I'm just going to add 75 from here. So I'm going to add to the spec here. So 75 is the new one. So I can hit save. Then I can open back again the Plant 3D. Right, so I'm switching back into CS300. So right now I should have additional one, which is the 75 flange that I have included before. Right, so that is the things that you can edit from here. You can just select the set of items that you want, and then you can add it using the add spec. Maybe several other things that you don't need, you can just select, and then you can also remove from the spec as well. Now, to make it more clear, I believe I should show you the starting from beginning, from the scratch. So I'm going to close this one. So the other ways for you to open up the spec editor is that instead of right-click and edit the spec, so I can open up from the Windows Start here. I can find the folder for the Plant 3D. Plant 3D. So when you install the AutoCAD Plant 3D, there also will be installed the Spec Editor as well. So the Spec Editor can be found under the Plant 3D folder here. Right. So this is the Spec Editor. So basically, this is the same things. So once you open up from the beginning, so it will open up this dialog box whether you want to open already existing spec or catalog. But for this, we will do later on. So we just close this one. So from here at the top, so I believe I already show you, this is the spec. You want to open existing spec, you can open it from here or create new from here as well. Same goes with the catalog. You can open up the catalog from here. And we have the 3 tabs here. So one is the spec editor. The second one is the branch table, which we will take a look later on. And the third one is the catalog editor. So this is where you can create your own component. You add it into your catalog, and then from the catalog here, you can add into your spec sheet. Right, so let's take a look on creating our new spec. So I can go into the file here, new. I can create spec, or maybe I just want to copy from existing spec, so I can just create spec from existing. But for now, I'm just going to create an empty one, and I can specify which the location or spec that I want. So currently, when I open up, so it's open from window C, and then you can see here. So this will be the default folder for the spec. So under the local DC, so you have the AutoCAD Plant 3D 2024 content from here. So this is the list of the spec that you can open up from here. So same goes with the catalog. Catalog will have the same location like this. But since this is a new, I want to create a different location. So I'm already create a new folder here. So I'm going to place at this sample spec here. So this will be the location. So I'm going to name this as, let's say, let's say 1.0.1. So I can hit save. So currently it's saving my spec at this new location, and so this will be the description. So I can type in what the description for this. Maybe this is, I'm just going to name it this one as free online lessons. And then from here down here, you can also select the catalog that you would like to open. Again, you can also leave it as empty, but for this case, I'm just going to open up for the ASME for fitting and catalog, and I can start to create. Right, so at the top here, our spec is still empty, but we have the catalog here, and this is the list of tools that we can add into our catalog. Now, so I'm going to start with adding pipes. So I'm going to go here in pipe category and select pipe. And I want to set a certain size, let's say 1 to, let's say 1.5 inch. So, and then over here you can specify the properties override if you want to. For example, if you take a look at our pipe here, the material code will not list down. Maybe you want to add it into your component, so you can just put the value over here as well if you want to. Let's say I'm just gonna put something around, let's say carbon steel as materials. This one, I say I'm just gonna put as 1, 2, 3. This one is just a samples value here. So the part that I want here, so 1 to 1.5 inch. I'm going to select the SME. I'm going to add here so 1 to 1.5. So they say I would like to add the other one, so I can also change the size. So let's say 2 until 10, for examples. I can select and add for different part size range. Right, so that is for parts. So next one, let's say I would like to add some fittings. So I can add fittings. So again, I'm going to start from the beginning. So let's say from 1 until 1.5. And then the value here, you can specify the filter that you want. So the first thing is I would like to add some T. So I'm going to select T. And the pressure class that I would like will be 300. So I'm going to add this one. The second one, I also would like to add an elbow. Maybe for the T here as well, for the reducer T, and for the elbow. So I can, now you can see I already add several other T and elbow. So I can continue to add some more. Maybe I want to add some OLED, for example. And this OLED here, I would like to have some reducing size. Let's say from my value here from 2 to 10 for my part, the second part here, 2 to 10 inch. And it will be reducing to 1 to 1.5, right? So 1 to 1.5. Right, so the item that I would like to have for my OLED here is the socket. Oops, socket. Again, so I'm going to use 300. I'm going to select, say, SME. And add. Right, I can continue to add some more component from here. But for this case, I already create a component with the list. So I'm just going to open up the finished one, which is this one. Right, so this is the component that I have already set up. Okay, so once I already added here, so a few things that you can also configure from the top here is that you can select your items, and then you can select the property editor. Now, for example, for this part here, 1 to 1.5, so I can go to the property editor here, and I can select. So this will be the information or value that we have from here. So if I edit the manufacturer or materials, material code, so it will be added into here. Now, the size that I have here is 1 until 1.5 inch. So this one should be okay. So the thick one is to remove. So if you want to leave it available, just leave it unchecked, so it will be available. So the one with the tick here is removing from this list. Right, so same goes with this second one. Right, so I can go to properties. Right, maybe I don't want 12 inch, so I'm going to select 12. So it will be removed from 2 inch to 10 inch only. Right, so that is how you can configure the size that you want. And then other things that you can edit here, so you can see that we have the part use priority. For example, let's say we have the flange here. So let's say at the end of the part here, we want to add some flange. And then what happened here is that I have two flange with the same size. So this one should be different. Let's say valve. All right. So for example, I have some valve over here. So let's say if I add some valve, so which valve that I would like to add first? Maybe check valve or maybe get valve. So I can select the priorities from here. You can see that we have the exclamation mark, indicate that it doesn't know which one to use first. So if you want to edit which one to use first, you can just double click. Right? You can just double click at the exclamation mark, and then this will be the size. So let's say I have a part size of 2, and which type of valve that I would like to put first. Right? So maybe I want check valve first, or maybe get valve first. So maybe this get valve, I can select priorities to the top. So it will prioritize to put the get valve first. Right? Or maybe the fourth one I want to get valve as well. Maybe it one, so I can just select and change the priorities from here. And once you have done, you can select everything, and then you can select mark and resolve. So it will be green color here, which indicate that this is as already being resolved. Now, if you have only one, that one should be no problem because it does not confuse which to use because you only have one. But if you have two like this, sometimes it will ask you, ask you to specify which is one required first. But it should still work even though if you don't specify the priority. So this is the sheet here, the spec editor here that you can choose. Let's say I'm going to save this one, and I'm going back to my AutoCAD from here. So currently my spec is named A-1.2. So I want to add it into my spec here, right? So to do that, you can go back to my spec, pipe spec from here, right click, and then you can select copy spec to project. And then you need to specify the location of your spec. Mine already correct, but I pick at the sample spec here, and I want to add A-1.2. So can click open. Should now have this over here, and I can select A-2, and then I should have 1 until 10. Right? So 1, I can click part roots, have the elbow that I have added before, and change to 4, and so on. Now let's say I would like to add some T here, so I can click plus. But when I click at my part here, you can see that it's actually penetrating. It's not actually a T here. So that one you need to specify at the branch tables, even though you already added, it does not add automatically. So you can specify it on the branch table from here. So the branch table over here is indicate your part size. Right? So currently I have 10, 8, 6, 4, and so on. Now let's say if I don't want the number 3, so I can go back to my spec editor and I can change back my pipes 2 until 10 here. And I don't want the number 3. So I can click OK. So the number 3 will not be added over here. So you can see it is now being. So if you want to add some more, it will be added into this list over here. So to specify your key here, you need to add the legend first on these branch tables. So I can edit the legends. I'm going to add branch. So the first one is the T here, which is the problem that we have previously. This will be a normal T. Let's say if I have a different type of T, which has a reducer, for example. Right? So I want to have a T and specify parts with the reducer one. So let's say I have pipe from 2" and then connect to 4". So it should have a reducer. So I'm going to use this T here. And you can also specify the name if you want to. Let's say I'm just gonna name this one as reducing T. And I'm just gonna name this one as a RT. And we can add some more branch maybe for OLED as well. Maybe I want to add for pipe for the start in. So I can just name this one as start in. So once I'm done, I can just click apply. And then we have the legend list over here. And then you can scroll down here. This will be the item that you want to add. So to add, you can just click. Then you can continue to click by clicking the control key. So for the same item, so 10 until 10, 8 until 10, 8 until 8, same size, 1 until 1. So it should have the same normal size. So I'm going to use a normal T here. So I'm going to apply to the table here. But for this one, 8 to 10, and then 6 to 8. So this one I want to add for the reducing T. Then I can apply from here. So I can just select from here, it should be able to apply. However, if you cannot apply, that means that your reducing T does not have that specified size. For example, if I go back to my reducing T here, currently set to 2 until 12. So if I choose 2 here, so I cannot click apply to table. But this one cannot. Reducing T. Okay, so I cannot apply to the table. So if I want, so I can just change, and I want to add to make sure all of this has been selected. I believe I need to scroll down a bit, or a bit up. Okay, I believe I haven't added. But you need to make sure to turn on, then it should be able to add. So then I can just finish up for the rest here. Let's say this one I want to add some bullet. And the empty one, you can just add maybe start in. You can also add multiple type of branch. So for example, I have this 8 to 10 here. It will use the reducing T. However, I can add some more. So I can just right click and I can select multiple branch selections. Maybe I also want to have a normal T as well. So normal T will be added here as well. So currently we have some issue here. It does not connected. So let me just save. But for this case, I just change first. Change. If I try to change back and see whether it's updating. Okay, right. So for now, it does not update as well. So to make it quick, so I'm just going to remove and re-add back. So let me just remove this back. So make sure I'm saving this one again. And I'm going to add back the spec. So copy spec to project. This one that I already saved. So which one is it? So this one. So the size of 4. Now, when I click the plus here, it should add a T here. Now you can see that we have a T, right? Now it has a T. This one is 4. Let's say I would like to add for 6, for example. So I'm adding some pipe roots and connecting over here. Now this one is using, I believe this one is non-normal T. So if I drop down here, this is actually a normal T. It's not a reducing one. So if I check back here, I should have a reducing T if I use 8 to 10, but the low one I believe it's not. Let's say I'm going to add, let's say add 10. and I'm going to add in 8. Now you see here, now this is the reducing studio. Here, if you take a look at the center here, it's actually quite smaller compared to the left and right hole here. But so it's actually using the reducing T here. But you can also still change. Maybe I want to have normal T. Maybe I want to have a different size, 10 to 5, which is actually not quite correct, but still should be able to work because we have a reducing flange over here. Right, so that is the branch level editor. Right, and the third one is the catalog editor. So the catalog editor is where you can create your own specific component. At below here, currently is set to valve catalog. So again, currently on the spec is using valve. So if you want to change pipe, you need to change pipe. If you need to add valve, you can change the valve name. So from here, I'm just going to set into a pipe. And we have this show here. So which one that you want to show? Currently, we have for family, and or maybe you want to have all part size or size. So the family one, you will see that the same family will have a range of size, right? Half inch until 24. But if you want to have long list of size, individual size, you can also select here. So it will give you individual size, 1 inch, 2 inch, 4 inch individually instead of range size like this. Right, so it does take a few bit of time here to load. Right, so if you prefer to have a short range, then maybe I believe you just specify for the family one. Right, so this one is the size one. Right, so you can see we have individual 4 inch, 5 inch, 8 inch. So we have a long list of items. So I'm just gonna leave it as back to normal. Same again at below here, you can see the family that you can select from here, the short descriptions. If you want to specify the range size, you can also select from here as well. Maybe I want to have 190, 1 until 10, 1 until 10, or maybe half until 10. So I have the half until 10 inch. Or maybe I just want 1 to 10. So I'm trying to see here. Okay, just 1 to 12. Right, so maybe pressure class to 3000 again. Okay, so I believe 3000 is not included here. Or I believe that I can just select all instead. Right, so 3000s. So we still have small range of item if you want. And if you want to specify the type of component that you want, you can just select from here. Maybe I want to add some elbow, right? More elbow. So I can select elbow here, maybe 45. Okay, 45 don't have for the pressure class here. Say elbow 90. Right, so elbow 90. And then I will have to add this elbow here. Now you can edit the component from here. So at the top here, this is the general properties that you can edit. Right. So we have the ELL90. If I change here, it will change down here as well. Let's say I'm going to name this one as ELL90. So if I save to catalog, so it will change the description down here. Okay, let me just select. Right, so change here. Right, so normally you don't want to change, you might want to use this one. So for that case, you can just duplicate so you don't accidentally change the original one. Right, so there are several things that you can add. Maybe materials is carbon steel again. Let's say to catalog, so we'll add carbon steel here. Right, so different type of settings you can add from here. So this will be the name. Currently is set to copy, so I'm just going to put A here. And then you have this port. So the port here is where you can specify the type of the end type here. And if you want to change the size, you can go to the size here. So currently we have a long list of size. Maybe I just want a simple number. So I can just remove the one I don't need. So I can just remove. But maybe this is the only one that I want. And so this will be the size. And to change the size, you can find at the connection port properties here. So how much is the diameter and also the OD for the diameter, outside diameter. So you have port 1 and you also need to configure for port 2. So currently we already have, so it should be no problem. Let's say if I would like to add some more ports, some more size, let's say around 5. So I can add, and I would like to add this one for 5. You just change. All right, so this one will be 5. Let's say 5.5 for the outside diameter of 5. So I need to specify the second port as well. But if you don't want to specify both ports because probably they are the same size, then you can check all ports have the same properties. So if you don't have same properties, you need to specify manually. So I'm gonna leave it as both as the same size. And then I need to specify the size from here as well. So for this case, let me just remove the size. I'm just going to duplicate the 4 here and just put the value of 5 inch. Right, so the size of parameter here I can change. So what the size value consists, you can find back at the preview here. So if I click the preview, so you should be able to see what are the size parameter that we can find from. Will be the length of L2, so you need to change the L2. Maybe I need to enlarge the diameter, increase the thickness, so everything you can find from here. So this one I can just close, and I would like to add into my Spec Editor. So again, we need to save to catalog first. And once I save, I can go back to my Spec Editor. So I need to find back the item that I have added. Again, this is buff, so let me just check to pipe and fitting. So my item should start with A. Right, and then I can add it into the spec. So this is the one that I have picked. Right, the one that I have duplicated. So the duplicate one is quite simple. So if you want to start from scratch, also can. So if you don't want to create a new, you can create a new component. If you don't want to duplicate component, then you can create a new component. Right, so new component will start from scratch, and then you need to specify what type of the 3D model that you will be used. So the one I want will be fitting as well, scale fitting. So I can select the unit for these items, maybe imperials. So we start at 5. Maybe I also want to have 6 until 10. Then primary edge, I can specify what type of primary edge that I want. So this is the list of the 3D model that you can choose. So if you have your own 3D model, you can also select the custom for the AutoCAD 3D model. But otherwise, for this case, I'm just going to use the one that has already been provided. I'm just going to choose a simple one, this one. All right, so again, once I have added, I need to select. So I've already forgot what the name that I put previously. Which one is it? Okay, let me just create one. One I believe I don't put the description, so I lost the item, so I must put the description as well. So the description I'm going to put as say AAA. So it would be flange of a flange size will be 6 to 10 for my case. So I need to find name. So let me just remove the project class from here. This one will be AAA. So this is my item. Right. So I need to specify the offset diameter as well. Again, same. So I'm gonna put here 6.2, for example. So other things, the general things. So this one will be the name as well. So it's double AAA -001. So once I'm done, I can just save to catalog. My machine copy should be filled with correct values. Let me just check back. It should be correct worthy. So the things that machine correct value. Okay, all right. So I forgot. Okay. So once I've added, so currently I only edit for the size for 6. So for this individual, I need to specify as well. One. Right, so save to catalog. And I go back to my Spec Editor and find my item that I have on here. So that will be AAA-001. So this item can add to spec. Now I want to save and I want to open it back. So I have this elbow and A elbow. So when I'm save, so it should have the spec update available. But again, if it does not update automatically, so if you find from here, you should have added elbow from here. Again, which is not added. So I'm going to remove this and re-add it. In spec. And I'm going to copy back the spec that I have saved. The new one. It should have the new one that I have created previously. All right, so that is the part that I have added, the AEEL as well. All right, so I believe this part is a bit too large, but that is basically what you can do with the spec data. Right, so that is all that I want to show you. So that concludes our lesson for today. So thank you everyone for joining this free online lesson. So I hope I can see you guys again on next free online lesson. So have a nice day and bye-bye.